Thank you. You know, you jump to conclusions that all people are against you, and that's what's so wrong. I mean, do you have to be the one that everybody likes best to make sure that they like you at all?
Yes.
Well, you've got to get rid of that.
No, I don't. And I also don't have to sit around and let Nick Davis keep coming into my house, telling my mother and me how lousy I am. Now, you're even with him.
How?
I don't know yet. There's something very peculiar about the way he thinks Philip Brent is Superboy. Bringing him that radio in the hospital.
Well, would it have been all right if he brought you the radio?
I wouldn't want that creep on my side.
Okay. Listen, let's forget it.
I will. After I find out what brought Nick Davis back here to the valley after all these years. And I do mean to find out. Just you watch me.
Nice to see you. Come on in.
Kate, Joe told me of your bad news about Paul.
Yes, Charlie. He never was a prisoner of war.
Kate, I am so sorry. I know what you're going through.
Yes, I know you do, Charlie. Come on, take your coat. Stay for a while.
All right.
Sit down, and I'll make you a cup of tea.
Well, I'll never refuse that. You never stop being busy, do you?
No. Well, particularly not right now. Worst thing in the world, you know, is to give in to it. When that happens, then you just sit.
I felt the same way when my son and his wife were killed. One day they left happily on the plane trip. That night they were gone.
You had put such hopes on Charles Jr. taking over for you at the hospital.
He was the most important part of my life, Kate. The future. I worked 14, 16 hours a day just to try to keep from thinking.
I know. But you do have a fine grandchild, and you have Link and Amy.
Oh, yes.
It's the same with me, you know. I try to think of the things that I do have. You know, like Joe and my grandchildren. You have to keep that in front of you.
I suppose I was always closer to Charles Jr. than I have been to Link and Anne.
Why, that's not right, Charlie. I mean, they must feel it if you do.
Oh, I don't think they do. But the fact that Charles's mother died in childbirth made me feel so responsible for him. Phoebe was a wonderful stepmother, but still I knew that I was all he had left of parents. And it made the bond stronger, I guess, than with Link and Anne.
Now, you stop that, Charles. I shall have to read you a lecture.
I have stopped it. I really think that I've loved all my children equally.
Well, you should. They're the most important part of our lives. When I think how close the Brents came to losing their son, Philip, it makes my heart skip a beat. Whatever would they have done without that boy?
It's not what the Brents would have done. I don't know what my daughter-in-law would have done. Amy is so attached to her nephew that sometimes it worries me.
Oh, why should it worry you, Charlie? I mean, it's only logical. She doesn't have a child of her own.
No, I don't think it is logical. I think that if she were as involved with her husband as she should be, it wouldn't be necessary.
Oh, that's a pretty strong thing to say.
I mean it. I've been worried lately about Amy and Link, their marriage.
Well, if there's love, it'll survive anything. You remember that. Oh, I just can't get over what a surprise it was finding you here, Nicky. And still, it was terribly providential.
Well, how's that, Mrs. Darling?
Well, I don't think you've been outside of my door for 5 minutes when I remembered that I had promised faithfully the country club people that you and I would be out there sometime today and take the measurements for the decorations.
I see.
So, as a matter of fact,
Well, I wouldn't have known where to find you if you hadn't been here.
I suppose it was lucky that I dropped over.
Oh, yes, indeed it was. And if you and Amy are really finished with your business and Amy doesn't mind, I think I'll just ferret you off to the country club this morning.
No, they'll be fine. I think we discussed everything we have to talk about this morning. Don't you, Amy?
Yes, I think so. Oh, good. Then why don't we go right now? That is, if Amy doesn't mind. I'll even take you to lunch at the club. Oh, they make a gorgeous quiche Lorraine. I just adore having a lunch with a handsome man in the middle of all of those ladies. It makes me feel absolutely, well, just wonderful.
I'm sure I feel the same way.
I hope so. Oh, you wouldn't want to join us, would you, Amy? You'd be welcome, of course.
No, thank you, Susan. I have an appointment.
Oh, good. Well, then, we'll see you later, dear.
Goodbye, Susan.
Excuse me just one moment, Mrs. Tyler. Amy? Goodbye. I'm glad we had our little talk. Glad we were able to go over that information.
Yes, but there are other things that we should continue.
Of course. I'll call you. Oh, indeed it is, Mrs. Tyler. Every day to remember.
Can't get enough Susan Lucci? Celebrate 35 years of All My Children with a special edition of Soap Talk. Thursday at 11 p.m. only on SoapNet.